Breaking news. The Denver Broncos made a play that got fans excited, sparking debate among fans and NFL analysts alike. If you had told me at the beginning of the season that this would happen, I would have called you crazy. I'll tell you all the details. But first, make sure you've already hit the like button if you believe we're going to make the playoffs. If possible, write it like this: the Broncos are going to make the playoffs. So here we go. What happened, to many, was crazy. Here's the thing. Here we are, in the middle of a playoff hunt, and head coach Sean Payton has decided to part ways with Greg Dulcich, our third-round draft pick, who seemed destined to redefine the tight end position for the Broncos. Let's rewind a bit to remember why this play seems so shocking. Greg Dulcich burst onto the scene during his rookie year with a bang, his first NFL reception being a 40-yard touchdown against the Chargers. He followed that up with a standout performance against the Jaguars, showing flashes of brilliance that had fans, including myself, dreaming of a long-term solution at tight end. But injuries quickly became a theme in Dulcich's career. This season, he started the first 2 games and was on the field for 4 total, but he only recorded receptions in his first 2 outings. Since then, he's been relegated to a healthy scratch, and trade rumors swirled before the deadline, but no deal materialized. Now, the Broncos have moved on. Sean Payton's decision raises a critical question. What does this say about the direction of this team? Payton has always had a specific vision for the tight end position, valuing players who are as reliable in blocking as they are in catching passes. Looking back at his career, he's thrived with tight ends like Dan Campbell, Jeremy Shockey, and Jimmy Graham, all massive players who could dominate physically. Dulcich at 6'4" wasn't small, but his inability to consistently block and his struggles against even smaller defenders seemed to seal his fate. Payton made it clear, if you can't block and run routes at a high level, there's no room for you in this system. Now, Dulcich has signed with the New York Giants, and the big question is whether he can turn his potential into production in a new environment. But for the Broncos, this move is part of a broader shift in philosophy. Sean Payton's preference for versatility and physical dominance is reshaping the roster, even at the expense of once promising talents. The tight end room, previously considered one of the weakest in the league, will now rely on other options to fill the void left by Dulcich. While Dulcich's departure grabbed headlines, the real excitement for Broncos country comes with the return of Drew Sanders. After months on the physically unable to perform PUP list following an Achilles injury, the linebacker is back. This is a massive boost for the defense, especially as we gear up for the playoffs. Sean Payton deserves credit here, not only for keeping the injury under wraps when it happened, but also for accurately predicting Sanders' recovery timeline. When Payton announced in May that Sanders would return this season, many doubted him. Yet here we are, with Sanders ready to rejoin one of the league's most feared defensive units. For those unfamiliar with Drew Sanders' potential, let me break it down. Sanders is a dynamic edge rusher with incredible speed and physicality. In college, he was a nightmare for opposing quarterbacks, racking up sacks and forced fumbles while showing a knack for big plays. Now, with the Broncos, he adds depth and explosiveness to a pass-rushing unit that already includes standout performers like Nick Bonitto and Jonathan Cooper. Bonitto, in particular, has been a revelation this season, already hitting double-digit sacks, the first Bronco to do so since Bradley Chubb. Adding Sanders to this mix, especially in 3rd and long situations, gives defensive coordinator Vance Joseph even more tools to unleash chaos on opposing offenses. What's fascinating about Sanders' return is the timing. It's no coincidence that this move comes as the Broncos are making a serious playoff push. Payton's strategic roster management is on full display here, and the decision to trade Baron Browning for a 6th-round pick to the Cardinals now makes even more sense. With Sanders back, the Broncos gain another weapon in their defensive arsenal, just in time to make a statement in the postseason. But where exactly will Sanders fit? That's the big question. Will he stick to the outside linebacker role he's practiced in, or could injuries at other positions, like inside linebacker, prompt the team to experiment with his versatility? Early reports from practice suggest he'll remain on the edge, complementing Bonitto, Cooper, and Jonah Ellis. Regardless of his exact role, the prospect of Sanders coming off the edge alongside this already dominant unit is enough to make opposing offenses nervous. And that's not all. This move underscores just how well the Broncos draft class has performed this year. From top to bottom, it's been a game changer. Nick Bonito is already making waves in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Jonah Ellis is delivering sacks at an impressive rate, and Devin V is earning recognition as one of the league's top rookie pass catchers. This group of players has not only filled immediate needs, but also set the stage for sustained success in the years to come. Let's pause for a moment to appreciate what this means for the Broncos as a whole. Sean Payton has taken a team that many doubted at the start of the season and turned it into a playoff contender. The defense is elite, the offense is finding its rhythm, and the team's young core is thriving. This isn't just about this season. It's about building a foundation for long-term success. Now let's talk about the ripple effects these moves will have on the Broncos as they prepare for the final stretch of the season and, hopefully, a deep playoff run. Drew Sanders' return isn't just about plugging another piece into an already formidable defense. It's about giving Sean Payton and Vance Joseph even more flexibility to adapt to game situations. With Sanders in the mix, the Broncos can rotate fresh legs into the pass rush, keeping everyone from Nick Bonito to Jonathan Cooper ready to attack when it matters most. And that's critical, especially when you consider how this defense has carried the team at times this season. It's not just about shutting down offenses, it's about making game-changing plays. Sanders has that potential. In college, he was known for his ability to create turnovers, whether it was strip sacks or deflecting passes at the line. Imagine the possibilities when you pair his athleticism with a defensive line that already includes Jonah Ellis and Zach Allen, both of whom are having solid seasons. This defense isn't just good, it's shaping up to be a nightmare for any team that dares to face us in the postseason. But while the defense is grabbing headlines, let's not overlook what's happening on the offensive side of the ball. Sean Payton has been quietly transforming this unit, and it starts with the quarterback. B-Nick, as fans have come to call him, is playing beyond anyone's expectations for a rookie. When you see his name mentioned alongside elite players like Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, you realize this isn't just hype. This is a quarterback who's already proving he belongs in the upper echelon of the league, and he's doing it while leading a team that has faced its fair share of adversity this season. What makes this even more exciting is the balance Payton is building between the offense and defense. For years, the Broncos struggled to find an identity, often relying too heavily on one side of the ball. Now, we're seeing a team that can dominate defensively while also putting up points when it counts. That's the kind of balance that wins games in January. One of the most exciting revelations this season has been the wide receiver core, especially the emergence of Devin V. To see him ranked among the league's best rookie pass catchers in a list dominated by first-round picks speaks volumes about his talent and the Broncos' ability to find value in the draft.